sixth Whaleshares Blue Report show here on the Whaleshares server, of course. Good to have you with us. Looks a bit quiet tonight. Not surprising, really. I don't know where you are, but it is boiling here in London town. I am sweating. This heat wave continues, and we should all be out swimming in the sea, to be quite frank with you. But anyway, here we all are. But summer is definitely with us. I'm assuming that might explain why we've got a few less with us tonight. But hey, we'll see what happens. But my word, is it hot? I've just had to turn off my, it's the 4th, well, no, it's the 6th of July, Savo. I don't know what you mean, but anyway, well, it's the 5th of July, going into the 6th. That was yesterday, Savo. Come on, catch up. I'm the one with heat issues here, not you. But good to see you guys here anyway. And why is PowerPix? What are you saying, PowerPix? Oh yeah, I'm in the wrong room as well. Okay, there we go. Nice to be back in the right text channel. Thank you for that, PowerPix. Why was Savo typing in the wrong text channel as well? Who knows? It's the heat. It's getting to all of us, I tell you. But yeah, I've turned my big fan off to do this show, which is going to make it even more uncomfortable for me. But there we go. The things I have to do. But good to see you all anyway. We've got a nice show again for you guys tonight. Got some good stuff coming up, which hopefully you'll enjoy. And of course, for everyone who attends tonight, it is 3 EasyDex tokens that everyone gets. So little bonus there for attending. And that's I think that really does round up the introduction. But it's nice to be here again. I think I'm going to hand over now to Walrus. Just to give you guys a structure, what we're going to be doing, as usual, we'll have some news update on what's been going on the Whaleshares chain. Been a bit of activity this week, or rather, a bit of inactivity, but there's issues that Walrus will tell us all about in a moment. But they're all resolved, which is great. And then after Walrus, we're going to hand over to Coffee and Crypto with Chief Mapster. We've got another Coffee and Crypto session. I really hope that coffee is going to be chilled, iced coffee, because that is exactly what I need anyway. And then after that, we've got another music session with Savo, and Savo's going to be giving us something a bit different tonight. I'm looking forward to this. We've got good. I'm glad it is iced. Indeed, I'm glad it is iced. Iced tea. I've got my iced tea right with me. Actually, it is. I've got some iced tea in a bottle right here, and it's chilled. I can't wait to drink it. But anyway, Savo has got us something a bit different tonight. A mega mashup. I'm looking forward to this, and it's a compilation of all the previous guests that he's brought on to this show for the last 5-6 weeks. So looking forward to that. That'll be an interesting one indeed. We're going to have a Savo, I thought you were doing it today.
No, today I have 2 guests. So.
Oh dear. Okay, so that's next week. Never mind. Every time Savo sends me over what I put in the post, I've got to translate everything literally. Anyway, so that's lost in translation, that one. We're going to have the mega mashup next week. Never mind. He's got 2 guests this week, so that's good. But really looking forward to that mega mashup, Savo. I think that's going to be really nice, A good 15 minutes of non-stop tunes mixed up, or one after the other, however you're going to do it, I don't know, but nice idea. Good. Well, it's a good idea. And then after that, we've got the guest, who is John Scotts tonight. John Scotts is a very nice guy. He's Canadian. Doesn't surprise me at all that he's very nice. Canadians are great people. And he's going to be telling us about what he's been up to and what he wants to do on the blockchain. And then after that, we're going to have the cruel curation session, which you know by now what that involves. And it's going to be maybe even a bit more cruel. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. But that's it. I think I shall hand over to Walrus, who will give us a bit of an update on what's been going on. Walrus, dude, are you there?
I'm here.
How are you? What's the weather like where you are?
Hot and humid.
Same here, ditto.
I think your hot days are cooler than our cool days this time.
I don't know. We've had this heat wave now for, I think it's in its 3rd week now. And do you know what? I do like to see these blue skies because we don't get much of it in Britain, but it is now time to have a bit of cooler weather. I don't know if I could stand living in a more humid country. Who knows? But you're probably right there.
Oh, you probably have to have us beat with humidity, but but not heat.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hopefully as we get later into this night, things will cool down.
Yeah, hope so.
Right, what have you got for us?
So this week, everybody probably noticed the chain was down most of the week. It started with a problem. We had a file that's in the active memory, the RAM, that we hadn't set high enough, and it caused a problem, caused a fork in the chain. And then the main problem was that getting enough witnesses together at the same time to fix it caused a problem. And we finally managed to get enough together to fix it. And then when we did, the next day, not enough witnesses had updated, so then we had the problem of that, not having enough active witnesses. So we got that fixed, and then we got a bunch of backup witnesses set up, so that won't happen anymore. And now we're back on track.
Oh, well, that's good to hear. So we've got backup witnesses now. That's a great idea.
Yeah, we got like twice as many witnesses as required now, so should be a lot better.
So basically, there shouldn't be any more witness issues. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Shouldn't be. I think we got everything figured out.
I guess what some people might be wondering is whether or not this has any impact on the launch. Does it delay it at all or not?
I don't think so. And even if it did, it is better to have to deal with this and solve it before we launch than after. So.
Yeah, well, this is it. Absolutely. I'd much rather prolong the testnet phase so we get everything ironed out before launch. I mean, that's probably the best way, the most sensible way to do it, isn't it?
Exactly. And well, it's funny. Crystal Human said they thought I was talking about the Steam chain, and it's kind of funny because they had a very similar problem right around the same time. And since we built our code based on theirs, then we're obviously going to start out with similar problems, but it gives us a chance to fix them before we go live, so we don't have to deal with it. So you guys don't have to deal with it, basically.
Yeah, well, this is it. I mentioned earlier to you that I actually thought that because the Steam blockchain had problems, which is what I thought the reason that Whaleshares had problems. But that's not going to be the case, is it, going forward?
No, they were unrelated. They just happened to happen at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, some people might be thinking, because obviously Whaleshares is built on the code that Steam was built on. Is there going to be sort of parallels there when things go wrong on Steemit? Do they automatically have to go wrong on the new Whaleshares platform?
Not at all. They're not connected in any way like that. So, and like I said, it gives us a chance to fix it before we launch. So hopefully we won't have to deal with these problems when we're live.
Awesome. Yeah, exactly. We need as many of these problems to arise at this stage, and so we can work on them. And but that's the good thing about it. Like you said earlier, with the Whaleshares platform, people were on it, developers were sorting it, and it's been sorted. Whereas with Steemit, it can take a bit longer, can't it?
Yeah, it seems like they're continuously having the same problems, and it seems like they solve the immediate problem but don't solve the underlying cause of it, So that's kind of our focus, is to solve the underlying cause so that we don't have to continuously solve the immediate problem.
Nice. Good stuff. Well, okay. Anything else, Wallace?
No, that's pretty much it, because that's been the whole focus for at least the past 5 days for the most part. So
yeah, no, I can imagine that would have been a bit time consuming, but it's like what PowerPick says, the witnesses get to to have a go at solving issues, and problem solving is part of their remit. So it's good that these things have come up now and prepares us really for when the testnet becomes the mainnet.
Yeah, it really helps too, getting everybody familiar with the process and letting us tighten up our game as far as getting all the witnesses together and all that type of stuff,
Awesome stuff. I think we're going to have to bring on a witness from the new chain on the show sometime soon, and they can tell us a bit more about it. I think that'd be quite a nice idea, don't you?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea at all.
Awesome. Well, something to think about there. Good stuff. Right. Anything you want to wrap up with?
No, can't think of anything.
Gosh, you're getting a lot of praise. Yes, he is a genius. Indeed, he is. Nice bit of ego massaging for you there, Warren.
I don't let it go to my head.
You don't, in a way. You're quite a modest chap, aren't you?
Sometimes.
Well, sometimes it's good. All right, good stuff. Okay, thank you very much for that, Walrus. And I shall move on indeed. And I'm going to move on to the coffee and crypto session now with Chief Mapster. And I really hope he has got some chilled coffee with him. I'm assuming it's warm where you are as well, dude. Are you there, Chief?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
How are you? Are you sweating?
Oh my gosh, it was almost 100 degrees today. So yeah, it was. I'm drinking that iced coffee today, and plenty of water.
Good. I hope there's plenty of ice as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great day. The day after July 4th, so it's always a good day.
Do you know what? I'm going to ask you about that because I know July 4th is a big day for you guys when you celebrate your independence from Britain. We won't go into that now, but it's a big day, the July 4th celebrations. What did you do? Tell us.
Well, I actually went to a beach up in Cleveland called Edgewater Beach, and there's probably about 2,000-3,000 people on the beach, and it was just something that a lot of America flags going, just play good music, go on the beach, get some sun, have a couple beers, and just kind of relax a little bit. Usually it's hard to find any time to relax, so it's good that everybody is kind of off that day, and almost every field is off on that day. So it seemed like a lot of people were out just having fun, listening to music, and being on the beach, which was nice.
Oh, that does sound nice.
I got a nice little suntan.
Oh, we need a picture. Bikini lines and everything.
Oh, yeah, it was something else, to say the least.
So is it a public holiday, July 4th?
Yes, it is.
So nobody has to go to work or school?
Yeah, I would probably say that 90% of the people were off school and work yesterday. Nice.
Did you have fireworks in the evening or not?
Oh yeah, they usually do fireworks the day before if it's during the week, and then the day of. So there's a lot of fireworks on July 3rd, and then also a lot of fireworks last night. So it was it's definitely a good time. We love our fireworks.
Yeah, nice indeed. Just out of interest, is your sun tan as bad as that in the GIF that Wars put up?
Not that bad. I had a nice little base coat underneath me, so I didn't really burn that bad. But I saw a couple people that had a tan like that.
Awesome. Okay, what have you got for us?
Well, I was researching kind of different projects we can learn from, and one thing popped up that caught my attention, and that was Tezos, which I don't know if many of you guys are familiar, but last year they raised the second most in an ICO. They raised over $232 million worth of Bitcoin and Ethereum in July of 2017. So it just started trading, the past few days as the beta network went live, and it was supposed to go live a long time ago. It's been a lot of ins and outs, and that's what I'm going to kind of cover what happened with Tezos, what's happening now, and then what we can learn from it, because they've made a lot of mistakes and that we can learn from, and for a community. And so I'm not glad that anybody fails, but it's something that we can learn from, and hopefully we don't repeat any of the mistakes they did. But all right, let me start off with the history of Tezos. It was created last year. They promised pretty highly. It's to be the last cryptocurrency needed, and they said this because it was supposed to be ever evolving. So yeah, right. It's supposed to be ever evolving, meaning that the protocols would be voted on by the people holding the tokens, and there would be no need to fork. It's basically like it's a delegated proof of stake mechanism, just like BitShares and Steem. So it's nothing new there. At the time, maybe they thought it was a newer aspect, but it's really a more democratic way of doing things. But the way they kind of have gone around so far is not so good, not so democratic. But so basically, delegated proof of stake, all the validations are conducted virtually, not physically, like in proof of work. And it doesn't require mining hardware and a large amounts of electricity. So they have advantages. But what they did was kind of the implementation of their project, which is kind of what we're doing right now with Whaleshares. They messed up. I know Whaleshares isn't doing an ICO yet, if they are at all. But Tezos did some interesting things. The guy was created by Arthur Brightman, who was a mathematician, and he kind of hid his involvement because he worked for Morgan Stanley, which Morgan Stanley wouldn't be too happy about him developing a new system against Morgan Stanley. So he hid his involvement and created a company in Delaware that registered everything. And as a result, he had some problems with the SEC. He raised all this money, and with the SEC kind of went after him for securities fraud because of how they didn't release the tokens right away. If they just released the tokens, 3 or 4 days ago. SEC, sorry, Securities Exchange Commission.
Okay, sorry.
Yes, but so they've been dealing with things because what they did was they split it. They split it with the company in Delaware, and they split it to the foundation. The guy and his wife gave the foundation control of all the money to a different guy out of South Africa. So they had some problems eventually because of some issues with the domain control, power, different people hiring, that eventually they got in a fight. And because of that, they didn't release the funds, and they've had problems, basically getting the network out ever since. And also being sued by the SEC or being under investigation by the SEC kind of put a damper on a lot of things, and it kind of caused him to kind of direct most of his efforts to making sure he didn't end up in jail. So right now, it seems like he's not in jail. The community is building right now, but one big thing that they came out with recently was after raising all this money, the $232 million, now they're asking for KYC, know your customer requirements, which is kind of unusual because usually you would ask for that right away, and that has caused a split in the community, which the whole goal of this Tezos was to not split the community, not to have forks and not split the community. But because of this KYC requirements that came after they raised the money, the community is kind of split in right away. So it's right now it's trading at $1.52. It's down after a few days. People are selling a lot of it. There's not too much volume, about 9.6 million in volume, and it's only on 2 different exchanges, Gate.io and HitBTC. So it's not on too many exchanges, but it is being bought and sold right now, which people investing a year ago is a good sign. But there's a lot of things that they did wrong, and so I just kind of wanted to cover Tezos and what they did. Right now, it's ranked number 19 on the market cap, top 100. So some things that we can learn from them is quite a lot.
Okay, so Chief, are you going to outline what they did wrong then?
Yes. One big thing is they overpromised, underdelivered. They said this was going to be the last cryptocurrency. They made big promises, and they didn't follow through with it. And you're supposed to underpromise, overdeliver, not the opposite. So that's where we have to be careful. I know we want to be the solution to Steemit and all Steemit's problems. We got to make sure we have the network live and running, and make sure that we can, actually interact and get the community going. We can't promise too much, but we want to make sure we can deliver what we promise. And what they did was they created one thing they did, I guess, decently, is they created a new terminology called baking. So instead of staking, your network, or you have baking the network. So it's handling all the transactions and all the nodes. You're considered being a baker, and they created a nice little infographic, and they try to make it more mainstream. So they did that right, and I think that's one thing we can learn from them is kind of make it more mainstream friendly. Right? It does sound like a term, but they did that. They did that right. They call their network bakers. So it's interesting that they have that. Another thing they did wrong was they came out with these KYC requirements after they raised all this money. Say so Whaleshares, if we do an ICO or if we're trying to raise money or trying to do anything, make sure to let the community know ahead of time, be upfront with it, and make sure that it doesn't split the community, because of this KYC coming in late, really split the community. And we don't want that to happen with Whaleshares, and that's one of the biggest things. I think we need to keep the Whaleshares community whole. So requiring KYC requirements afterwards, or bringing other maybe specifics or considerations afterwards, is not a good idea. So I would just say be upfront and be honest with what we're going to do with the share drops, with the when it's going to be released and everything, so people are not let down, and we do not want to get the community split or any lawsuits. Let's see what else we can do. I guess
move on, just so I can put this in context. They seemed to have a successful ICO, but then there was some kind of internal dispute, and it started to go wrong from there for a while. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
And has that internal dispute been resolved now?
Not yet. Basically, the wife and the husband kind of have been going back and forth, and they fired the head of the foundation. They brought a new president on board. And these KYC requirements that happened recently, within the past few months, even got the founder of Ethereum to go after him too as well. But they released a token, which is something positive for them, because they've been trying to do that since July. So it's interesting that they did do a lot wrong, and they did do a lot of internal struggle, but it seemed like most of the problems are personal based. It's not technology based, but that might not lead for the technology to come out on time, or people actually using it. So it's something I feel like we should definitely avoid any internal struggle for the good of the community, because it seems like that will bring down projects just like bad technology will.
Well, yeah. I mean, so they had this internal issue, which of course caused problems. You then outlined the fact that they overpromised, underdelivered, and then there's also more problems. Apparently, you're going to tell us more, are you?
Yeah, and I guess with one thing is, with great ambition comes great responsibility. They became popular, which I hope we all hope Whaleshares is. They became popular for certain reasons. They raised a lot of money for certain reasons, promises that they made. But because of that, they also had great responsibility to act on them, and they haven't really been doing that. So what we should learn from that is, we need to. I know we're trying to build a community that's kind of a cross section of the world, heavy crypto, mainstream, and in the middle. But we need to make sure that we follow through what we do, and it's going to be not going to be the easiest thing in the world to do. But once we do build this network and grow it, we need to make sure that we stay in it for the community and not try to monetize maybe for personal exploits or anything like that. We need to make sure the community keeps growing, and not just worry up the bat. We need to keep growing it for years into the future.
Okay. So did anything else they got wrong?
I don't want to be too harsh on them. Well, I guess the biggest thing is. I was going
to say, out of all the things they got wrong, what was the most damaging?
I would say that the fact that they got sued by investigated by the SEC, that caused basically all these things to happen, because when you have the SEC knocking on your door, you get stressed, personal stress come out, people will start disagreeing, firing and hiring is harder, and you kind of lose that aspect of getting the money. You come out with different things the community didn't want in the first place, like KYC. So I think the fact that they got the SEC involvement right off the bat is kind of one of the worst things that happened to them. But I think we can avoid that, because it looks like we're kind of building it slowly and surely, and making sure that we're not doing any big ICOs and kind of getting any red flags. So is something I think that we're doing a good job avoiding any security frauds or anything like that. So that is nice.
Yeah, do you know what? I think this Tezos example is a really good example, actually, of what we need not to do. Do you know what I mean? I think that serves as a good warning for us in many ways, what they did wrong.
I agree, and that's why sometimes I've been looking at different projects that have been doing the right things and what we can learn from them. So that's why I kind of want to, learn. I don't like being negative, but learn from a project that might have not done the right things yet.
Well, this is it. If we can learn, I mean, it sounds a bit harsh, but we're effectively learning from other people's mistakes, but we're going to turn that into something positive for us. Exactly.
And because it seems, this community is for the long term. We want to create a long-term community, long-term chain that works. So that's why I'm glad that, Walrus touched on fixing those problems before the launch, because we want to make sure this things last a long time. It's just not here for a year or 2 years. We want it to be a lasting crypto and mainstream community with the blockchain to help us. So I think by learning from whatever we can learn from, good, bad, and everything, we need to bring it all together to create this community. And I hope that people are aware of this, because we can always learn something, and we can always learn in the future as well. So right whenever the chain is launched, that's when we need to put more work in. We need to keep learning and make sure that this community and chain, stays focused.
Yeah, and I think it's important to mention that with any project this size, and with any size, with the community the size we're trying to build, you're gonna hit bumps in the road, aren't you?
Yeah, it's just you gotta have the team behind it. Like, Walrus had problems with the witnesses, and then he found out that we had more backup witnesses to help out, and it actually serves a bigger cause, because now we have more people involved than maybe initially. So if we have bumps in the road, we just gotta adapt, and we gotta handle them, and we keep moving forward. We can't have personal strifes, and that's what kind of happened to them. You can't have personal strifes and personal profits and trying to exploit people to come in between the community. We need to make sure the community keeps going forward. And if something comes up, we can be upfront about it and transparent, and then solve the problem.
Yeah, absolutely. Transparency, also another important factor, certainly in a project of this size. Okay, anything else, Chief?
I guess if Walrus is around, are we for sure not doing an ICO with the Whaleshares community, or is that something that hasn't been talked about yet? No ICO. Gotcha.
There's no ICO.
No ICO at all.
100% drop. That's what I assumed, but I just didn't know if something changed, because I think that helps us avoid any security problems with the SEC, which is great, because that's the last thing we need, and that's kind of what caused the problems with Tezos. So I'm excited to hear that.
Oh, that's awesome. We've sorted out that one anyway.
Whew, avoided that.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah, anything else, Chief?
No, I think that's it, and I'm looking forward. I'm going to do a little bit of something different next week, so I'm excited for next week's segment. And I just wanted to hope if anybody has any questions, you can just reach out to me. I'll do some research for you and, help out as much as I can. So I'm excited to be here again. And thank you for having me on. And I'm drinking some iced coffee, listening to the show. I'm excited.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Chief, for coming on again. It's good to have you here. So thank you very much for that. Interesting case study, I would say, Tezos there. Just a little Google on them while Chief was talking. And they got quite a few big things wrong. It wasn't just like small little things; they were big things. There's stuff we can learn there, I'm sure. But thankfully, we don't have the ICO issue, and the SEC will be knocking on our door. It looks like we've avoided that one anyway, so that's good to know. But great case study there. Thank you very much for that, Chief, and I look forward to see what you've got next week. Right. I'm going to move on, and I'm now going to bring on, in fact, before I bring on the guest for this week, I've got something quite interesting for you guys next week. Some of you will know a couple by the name of the Honeys, and they're incredibly difficult to track down, They're really busy people. They do tons and tons of stuff. Sometimes they come to my show, sometimes they don't, because they're always jetting around the world. They're always flying somewhere to a conference, or to deliver a speech, or to do some plug for their new book. They've got a book coming out in November, and I've been trying to work them out, and it's kind of like life coaching in a way is what they're involved in. They're a really nice couple, actually, the Honeys. Anyway, they've got this new book coming out in November. You can pre-order it. I've given them my 10 Steam, so I get it delivered. And part of what you get for the book is you get some freebies. They came on one of the shows before and mentioned it. And one of those freebies is a half an hour one-on-one session with the Honeys, and to try and to make your life better, I suppose, in some way. I've asked them to bring that forward, to have my half-hour one-on-one session, but have it live in the show. So it shows you guys what they do, and I'm also a bit of a guinea pig in many ways, because I'm going to do it live in the show. And she said to me, do you have any habits that you would like to work on? I was like, probably a few, I don't know. Yes, exactly. There's one of them, but there's others which could be more pressing. And then she said, so I said to her, well, look, shall I just consider what I need to think about in time for the show and get back to you on that, about the habits? And she said, no, don't do that, because I want it to be completely raw. So there's going to be no practice for this at all. She's just going to ask me questions like she would do if you had a Skype one-on-one with her, which is what they offer if you buy the book. It's a half-hour one-on-one session, but I'm going to have mine live in the show next week with them. And by the way, she then says to me, I might make you cry. I was just like, try not to do that, but if it happens, okay, fine. So it looks like this could get quite deep. I don't know how deep they go. But anyway, yes, John, cry, yes. So I said to her, look, try not to do that if you can. But this is going to be a bit of a more deeper session than I realised. But I'm interested to know more about what they do. I might have been a bit presumptuous about those two to begin with, because when they first came to the platform, I thought, oh, they're a married couple and they're life coaches and what have you. And I have to be honest with you, I've not always had the best impression of life coaches. I've often thought it's a little bit of an unnecessary, to be honest with you. But I have to say, I don't think the Honeys are just about life coaching. They're about all sorts of things. They're a really interesting couple, and I think they're very successful in what they do. So it's going to be quite interesting next week. So that's the couple. That's the guest stars for next week. Looking forward to that one very much. Although I'm a bit nervous about what they're going to do to me, but we'll find out. But anyway, this week we've got a lovely guy, as I said at the start of the show, called John Scott, and he is the guest star of the show. And I'm just going to see if he's there. John, are you there?
I'm here, Frida, and thank you for having me. Hi, everybody.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for coming on. How are you?
Very good. Hot like everybody. Humid and nervous and excited.
Don't be nervous. We're all friends here, John. But hey, look, it's hot over where you are as well. Indeed, it's hot. It seems everywhere at the moment. So interesting how the weather brings us together in some kind of common ground. But there we go. So, John, you're someone who I've gotten to know, I would say in the last, 4 months. And, as I've learned more about you, you've become more of an interesting person because you've been involved in lots of things. And what I'm going to do is just ask you very quickly, if you don't mind, like I ask most guests, how did you find Steemit?
I think I stumbled onto it, basically researching blockchain cryptocurrency, read an article about Steem and that they reward you for participating in it. And that's how I stumbled into it.
Where did you read the article, sorry?
Probably, I don't read junk. I'm not saying everything is junk, but basically news articles, crypto news, Cointelegraph, all these cryptocurrency supportive news only. Nothing CNN, nothing BBC, nothing like that.
Yeah, because I have to say, it's pretty difficult to find anything that positive about crypto on most mainstream platforms, isn't it?
Don't listen to the news. It's complete opposite what they tell you about blockchain. It's a big, I'm not going to say war, but a fight. That's all I have to say about that one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well said. Okay, so you found Steemit. And then when did you when did you jump into the Whaleshares community? How soon after finding Steemit did you find Whaleshares?
From Steam, I met a few people who brought me to Telegram. From a few Telegrams, I have to give credit to LCR, who was helping me on Steam, learning how to use Steam, write articles, get votes. And he told me to come to Discord. I had no clue what Discord was. I came in it a few times. I saw it. I said, this is confusing. I left. I wasn't a big social media kind of guy like Facebook or Twitter or all that. I had no interaction at all. And then I said, you know what? Let me write a post. Let me go to Discord, go on the Whaleshares. He told me there's a show every Thursday hosted by you. And that's where I landed. And that's how I landed on Whaleshares. And I've been there ever since.
Well, I'm glad you did find Whaleshares. What's been the best part then of how Whaleshares has enhanced your Steemit experience?
Whaleshares enhancement, I would say the people, the community, the support, everybody helping everybody, looking out for each other. It's really a great community. I'm getting to know it more and more every day. It's tough. It's time consuming, but if you're at it, you get used to it. It's one great big family that's going everywhere, let's say, but always coming back to the whales. That's what I have to say about Whaleshares.
It's interesting you say that, because only the other day I was thinking to myself, because I do spend a hell of a lot of time now working on Steemit and Whaleshares, and I was thinking the other day, particularly about the Whaleshares community. It seems like it's more than a community. Sometimes it does feel like family, and that's powerful, isn't it? I mean, that's had a powerful impact on me. Whaleshares. Does it genuinely feel like that for you sometimes?
Freedom, the last 4 months, it's the only thing I've been doing is Whaleshares. Well, more other things as well, not just Whaleshares, I'm not going to lie. But definitely, first thing I do, I wake up, okay, phone, get the coffee, let's see what everybody's talking about, let's see where I can help, what's going on, what's happening. Yes, it's family. It's what I wake up to, and I'm not going to say what I sleep to. No, it's not.
I hope not. Gosh, that would be extreme.
No, not at all. But it's consuming. It's 24/7, and people see it. I mean, you've seen it. A lot of people have seen it. And I'm here, and I'm loving it. And I'm getting my kids into it, and I'm getting friends into it. Family is starting to understand it. And accept it. And I was at a birthday party, I think a couple of days ago, and I had 4 or 5 people in front of me asking me a lot of questions, and they were very interested. They're fed up. They're fed up that they're in debt. They're all in debt, and they don't know why. And why I'm not going to say I'm not in debt, but I don't have debt, meaning I changed my life in the last, I'd say, 3-4 years. To basically, my biggest debt is my cell phone, and that's about it. And if people could do that with crypto, you could. You just have to stay on course and don't lose focus on it, and you could get that free.
That's great to hear that, John, because we are told from the day we leave school that to expect a life of debt, credit cards, bank loans, mortgages. Everything, even HP, if you want to buy a car or a TV, whatever, we are told that the only way to get all these things is debt. The debt-based system is what we have to expect. And you know what? Crypto and the blockchain is completely turning that on its head. And we now have this alternative, and it's great that people are finding it. And I'm glad, by the way, that you've managed to convince some of your friends and family, because believe me, I'm having a very difficult time getting people to come over to crypto. I can sit down and show them even the figures, and they're still like, no. I mean, they're so conditioned to believe that the only way is through the conventional way. But as you've just outlined, John, blockchain and the crypto world offers us a whole new reality, doesn't it?
it is reality. You have to believe it. It'll become reality if you believe it and you adopt to it. It is the future. Imagine there's companies out there working today for you to buy homes in crypto, insure it in crypto. If anything happens, you could walk away with your cell phone and all your assets come with you. Today, if you have a home, I'm saying in Canada, and something goes wrong in Canada, you lose everything. Forget your home, forget your money, forget your safety deposits, forget whatever deposit, security, fund you have. Everything is wiped out and you walk away with nothing. Crypto could give you that.
And if you said,
go ahead.
Chief, are you trying to come in there? Chief, you're hitting your mic button. Did you know? I'm going to have to server mute Chief Mapster if he carries on. Sorry, John Scott. I think he did it accidentally, but carry on.
I guess that was the sound of the bell saved me. I stopped right there. That's what cryptocurrency is. So people should believe it and stay on it.
No, absolutely. I mean, I couldn't have said that better, John. You've identified the huge benefits of crypto and the blockchain, and thankfully you're on it, which is great. And it seems that you're really actively engaged in trying to get more people on it, which is great work indeed. So you're also an EasyDex mod. Tell us how you got into that.
I'm gonna say I got lucky. My gut. I always trust myself and my gut. Doesn't matter right or wrong, $1 million or $1. If something tells me something's right, I stick with it. And after my experience in the last 2 years, mining, buying, trading, exchange after exchange of password and emails and approvals and trades and fees, I figured I got to find something better than what's out there. And that's how I went to BitShares. That's how I found Steam. I learned about DEX. And somehow I'm on EasyDesk, and I think that is a final destination for me. It's my heart tells me that, and that's how I ended up there.
Wow, that's quite a powerful statement. It's your final destination. Why is it your final destination?
I believe in Walrus, definitely. I've seen him around. I've seen his work. I hear him. I see him. I saw the exchange. I see him and Patty, like I said in the beginning, always 24/7, hands-on. To me, for someone like Walrus to be hands-on, customer service, 100%. That's the way to build it organically. There's no FUD behind him. He's straight. He's all heart and all work, and he has a goal to achieve something great, and he wants great people with him to do that. And you know what? I think Whaleshares and this whole community and everybody else around us is a great community, and that's why EasyDex.
Interesting, because that does tally in tie in with your ambition that you do want to have these decentralized exchanges, Western Union type exchanges, in all major cities across the world. That's kind of an ambition for you, isn't it?
Yes, it started. Believe it or not, I was a baker. I didn't tell you. I did bake for a couple of years. It had to do with Korea, in South Korea. When I was there, Bitcoin was very popular in Japan. I think it originated from there. Nobody knows. So I did follow it from there, and I was into the retail business, so to open like coffee shops and cake shops. But I was always interested in the Bitcoin. So from there, years later, coming back to Canada after South Korea, I got involved into BTC again. I got involved with some people in BTC to exchange, to open, yes, like Western Union stores in a coffee mode, in a comfortable mode with ATMs, and teach people how to do that in blockchain and crypto. And that's what I feel EasyDex could become, something like that. It's a vision. It's nothing planned or nothing believed, but that's my gut. That's what it's telling me to do.
And of course, this will facilitate, investment into crypto, which is what you want to see, that kind of expansion, yeah?
Only crypto. I want to build everything on crypto, retail on crypto, and start it with certain cities in the world. It doesn't have to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's a start. That's my vision. That's my belief. Bring EasyDex worldwide, in a sense, in retail, clothing, exchange, trade, teach, create the adoption.
Wow, John, I mean, it's lovely to hear that. And that is quite a vision indeed. I'm sure lots of us would like to see that happen. And there seems to be tons of support in the chat. I've just seen tons of graphics fly out. But yeah, that is a fantastic vision, John. And so you're there now, involved in EasyDex, and you're hoping to try and expand that into cities across the world, as you've just outlined. That is a great vision. But I'm just going to go back now a bit. I'm going to rewind, because you come from a clothes manufacturing / fashion design background. Is that right? Is that where you really found a bit of success?
I think I was born in a factory. I grew up in a factory. My father had his own shop, and I was there all the time. That's all I knew until, I guess, I started school. All of my high school was, after school, was back at the shop. I grew up in a factory, basically, yes.
And then what, you took it over from your father, or what happened?
Oh, no, I didn't take it over. I bought him out completely. I went to school. I studied. I wanted to become an architect, but he kind of pushed me into the family business. So we were rivals in a sense, a father and a son. I had one vision, he had another. I went my way, and I came back and bought him out completely and made him my partner, basically.
Wow! So you bought the company from your father, and then basically you're in complete control. Then what did you do? What did you do with your new company, or your own company then?
Oh, I brought it to great lengths. For 10 years, I got married, kids. Then I had to change my lifestyle. It got too big, huge, in a sense that the higher up you go in the corporate world, freedom, the more crooked it becomes, especially with banks and finance companies and everybody else around it. All they want is the money part, and it's just profit. So when someone's a creator and is giving and helping in that world, it ain't gonna work. So I had to change it. And it took me a good 10 years to change my lifestyle. I had to leave the country. I had to sell my assets. I had to convert everything to a lifestyle of nonprofit, of a healthy lifestyle, to actually live and learn and help. And that's what I've been doing.
Okay, so you moved away from business. And I completely agree that the higher you climb, the more corrupt it will become. I can imagine that completely. And you found that out for yourself. So you kind of turned your back then on the corporate world. Is that what you're saying?
100% freedom, 100%. And I did open other businesses after that. I'm not going to lie. Like I told you, I did go into the bakery business. It's a great business. I did go into retail as well, clothing. But I tried to keep it low-key, very small, but doesn't matter. Once you start with banks and municipalities like we have here, they just come attacking. Taxes, interests, financing, memberships, whatever you want. If you don't agree, you're out of business. And really,
charges.
Sorry?
I guess there were charges as well involved.
Whatever you want. They could create whatever they want, when they want, and how they want. So Either you play their game or you play your own game. So that's what I decided to do, and that's why I'm here.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. I've seen how banks operate and how they treat businesses, small and medium-sized businesses, and quite frankly, it's depressing. And I used to run what was a claims management company. We were a small family-run claims management company. We were trying to claw back charges from the banks that they had applied to small business customers as well as personal customers. Some people, the average claim was £2,000, and you're literally talking charges for, as you've just said, they could make up anything they wanted and they would get away with it. So we managed to claw back a lot of these charges, but it was auditing people's bank accounts. When you've got those statements, those bank statements, 6 years of bank statements in front of you, because that's what we could legally go back to. When you've got them in front of you and you see all the activity, you learn firsthand how the banks treat people. And they can be very vulnerable people, and they can be small businesses struggling to stay afloat. They do not give a damn.
You're absolutely right. $1,000 could become $10,000 or 10,000 pounds in minutes. They're lethal. And at the end of the day, you know what it is, freedom. It's not what you know and how much you're worth. It's who you know, who you golf with, who you associate yourself with at the club. And if they pull a string or two, you're out of the clear, you know? Yeah, it's going to cost you a few pennies here and there, but you could buy your freedom with money in this country.
Yeah, yes, you can. So good, you moved away from the corporate world. But just before we go on, because you were also into fashion design at one point. Are you still doing that? And have you got anything you can show us there?
I'm in fashion design, yes. I have been working on something for 2 years. It's a hoodie collection for men. It's exclusive for motorcycle riders, but it's also casual wear. So it's protective. It's not like, I'll show you some pictures. It's safe on a bike, but it's also, you could wear it at a club, and you could also go to a birthday party, you know, whatever. It's either classy and conventional for the bike. It's safe as well. And yeah, I'll drop a picture or two and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, please do. I'd like to know more about how your fashion design ties in with actually what you make, or what you used to make and sell. That would be interesting if you've got a few examples to show us.
What I did in the past is different from this. This is all hands-on. Basically, I have a small studio at home. I do everything myself, like from pattern to cutting to sewing. So what you're going to see is a mock, basically is what I've made with my own hands. It's not the fashion business, the mass, or the labels, or the designers I'm showing you. I wanted to show you something that I do personally, so you could see me, not what I did in the past, because the past was great, but it influenced by profit always. So here you're going to see a bit of something that's creative, that's real, from a designer that's hands-on something, and he puts a passion into it. And I'm just going to show you a few images that pictures I took by myself. So if they're not that great, sorry, forgive me.
No, that's okay, as long as we can see something. I'm looking forward to this. What have you got?
Here it comes. Hold on.
Oh, okay. It's not pink, though.
Those red zipper pullers should have been pink, but they didn't come in pink. But I could get them in pink for you.
No, this is interesting. It does look a bit almost. I know you're talking about bikers. I can see the biker element. Looks a little bit military themed going on as well. I like it.
I'm going to drop a few pictures I took so you can see the details, and I'll explain the detail.
Yeah. So you designed this, and then you got someone to make it, yeah?
No, I do everything. I sew, I cut, I make patterns. I I do complete everything all by myself. Nobody is here with me doing this. Nobody.
Oh, wow. Okay, awesome. And that looks like a photo where you've made a few there. So how long does it take you to make one of those then?
Oh, one hoodie could take me probably a week to make, working 10 to 12 hours a day. It's all handmade. There's machines, don't get me wrong, but all those stitches you see there are made by a single machine. There's not computerized or automatic machines. That's another world. That's why I called it a mock. These are originals that I'll make for mass production, but they can't do this yet, meaning I have to convert machines to do it according to these garments. It's a little difficult to understand.
Oh, I don't know. It just seems all very exclusive. It seems really exclusive. I love it.
Thank you. It's original leather. The fabric is bonded with the membrane. It's waterproof. There's padding, protective padding in case the biker falls. It's not going to protect him in a sense that, if he has a fatal crash, I'm sorry, it's not. But, if there's a fall, it will protect his shoulders, his elbows. There's also...
But John, that's great that these are for bikers, but I can see people wearing them purely based on from a fashion perspective, no?
Absolutely. That's why I told you you could wear it's made for a biker, but it's casual wear. You could take it into the bar or go to a birthday party with it or a night out. There's the simple version, which is a basic hoodie, and then it's evolved to, the pockets, with the zippers, they put their cell phones, their wallets. It's like a knapsack on a hoodie.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. And yes, boy, Robert, if you wish to, feel free. You can take it to the bedroom if you want.
Thanks, Robert.
That's an interesting one. Okay, nice, good stuff. Any other photos?
No, that's all I took. I had a lot of photos. I don't know where they are. They're somewhere in the cloud. I felt this was enough. I didn't want to show more. I could, I want Robert to take pictures one day. I'm not ready for that because as an artist, you have to finish the product completely, and I'm not complete yet. So I've been on and off, and now I'm into crypto. So it's off for me for now till I figure out and fix crypto, and then I'll go back to it. And basically, I was building a shop here in Canada, but I changed my mind. I have to go to either Japan or South Korea, built it there, and then sell it through there online. There's no way to be done here. There's no people here anymore to work. It's unfortunate, but it doesn't exist.
Okay, all right. So let's just come back then to where we are now. You're selling these items, and are you saying you would like a physical shop, or do you want to start selling these mostly on the blockchain?
Well, you're going to have to sell them only on the blockchain. Definitely, it's only there, but someone has to produce them. So there's no factory in Canada to produce what I'm making here. I have to take it to Asia, let them produce it, warehouse it, and then once you get the order, they ship it directly to the customer, and it's point of sale. That's it.
Well, and you're saying you can't find a local Canadian manufacturer to make these?
Freedom, you could. It's going to cost a fortune. I could sell one of these hoodies, the first one I dropped, I think with the 4 pockets there. If I sell it for $650 Canadian, I'm probably making $100 on it. It's not going to cover gross market margins there, rents, salaries, accountants, lawyers, expenses, tax. It won't cover it. But if you bring it to Asia, you probably make it for $100, and quality will be 100% better. They have the manpower. We don't. We don't have the manpower in Canada.
Well, I think this is an odd one. This is steering into this whole debate of globalization, but you probably do have the manpower, and you probably do have skilled people in Canada who could make these. The problem is, as you say, affordability. It's sad that you're forced to use a manufacturer in Asia, and it's not just Canada. Believe me, it's happened in Britain and Europe and America. We've effectively used Asia to become our factory, haven't we?
Absolutely. Let's say if I talk to my kids about a factory, they don't know what it is. If you go back 40 or 30 years, you're going to see the schools were built like factories, like sewing machine plants or production plants. Today, they're built differently. They're built like laptops, like a world of laptops. So we don't have the we could find the manpower, but like I said, it's going to cost a fortune. It's not worth it. Build it somewhere else and make it affordable for people to buy, because nobody wants to buy a hoodie for $650. They'll pay for it, but if it's $199 or $149 or $99 and it's top quality, they'll give you the money. But I'm not a Calvin Klein or Giorgio Armani. I'm going to say I'm $1,000. I pull out a perfume where I make my money and I lose my money in the clothing. You understand?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, okay, you're outsourcing to Asia, and you've got your outlet online. Where do you see this going then? Let's just look down the line a minute. Let's just say 3 years down the line, where do you think you'll be with this?
With the hoodies?
With your fashion, your fashion outlets.
Oh, basically, you're going to have novelties. They're going to be short of demand, the people who will be able to afford them. Then you're going to knock yourself off to something similar. And then it's probably going to go into T-shirts and plain hoodies with a label that supports it and follows it. And then if you could build that label from the novelties to the mass and give them affordability, and it's accepted, then you could branch out like into watches or belts or purses, runners, jeans. As long as it has a label to follow it, you could grow it tremendously. So show them the Cadillac, but sell them the Volkswagen, basically.
See, what's interesting about you, John, is you've had that conventional business experience, and you've been involved in the corporate world, and you've walked away from it to a large extent, and you have found the blockchain, and you're going to be, and you've seen the amount of opportunities that exist on the blockchain, and you're someone who is now completely invested in it, aren't you?
100%. I do have the experience. I did walk away from it. I'm going back into it. Thank God for, I'm going to say, EasyDex. Has sparked that flame again. One thing I learned, and I was taught young, if you're going to make something, make it right and sell it. Nobody else is going to sell it like you're going to sell it. So from creation, you could create whatever you want. You can look at it, put it up on the wall, but you need the money after, right? So go sell it, market it, put it out there, and build what you want to build. You get the money to build what you want to build and keep it going. That's what I'm going to do.
Awesome. And I'm pretty sure you'll do it, to be honest, John. It's great to hear this. I'm going to sort of move towards the end and wrap this up a bit, and I want to do that by speaking about you personally, because you describe yourself as a simple man, a father of two, a vegetarian, and very giving, honest, and helpful. And I have to say, you are indeed very giving, honest, and helpful, because I know you have been to my shows quite a few times now. And not every time, but a lot of the times, I think most of the times you've been to my show, John, the Promote Your Post show, you have always seemed to present somebody else's post. You're trying to help somebody else all the time, and there isn't someone who has done that as much as you have. And it's so reflective, I think, John, of who you are. Why do you do that? Because don't forget, you're still relatively new to Steemit. You're still trying to build your reputation and your profile. Why do you like to come to the show and showcase other people?
I love helping people. I love making people believe one thing. You don't need money to live your life. You do need it. Don't get me wrong. But if I could give you help and push you and make you believe in yourself to succeed, I've succeeded, because I've done it. I've done it from nothing 1,000 times. Basically, I've been leveled, and I've gotten myself up from nothing. And I didn't go to a bank to borrow money. No, I didn't. I just believed in me, and I helped myself. So if I could show someone, if I could teach one person to believe in themselves, believe in something I believe in, believe in this cryptocurrency, it will give you what you want successfully. And it's not a lot that you need. You want a mansion? Yeah, I could give you a mansion. Great. Good for you. God bless. I don't care. Meaning, that's what you want, that's what you get. But if you could build something that's enough for you and give it tenfold to 10 people, you're building a family, a community that's going to expand 1,000 times worldwide. It's not going to happen maybe tomorrow, in a year or 10 years. But if that seed is planted rightly, it will grow universally.
Absolutely. Well said indeed. And you're someone who's clearly built something up from the ground upwards. And you're basically trying to encourage others to do that, aren't you?
100%. I give it all. I trust. I help as much as I can. I'm not going to say anything else after that. But I don't care. I care about the money. Don't get me wrong. We need that money. But don't care about the money. Care about your neighbor, your community, the person. Support, give, help. And don't ask for anything in return. It's going to come. I promise you, it's going to come by itself. I landed on EasyDex. How? I didn't ask for it. Nobody gave it to me. It came to me, and I accepted it, and I'm still there with it, and I believe it.
Well, I am pleased you're there, and I'm sure Walrus is pleased you're there, and it's fantastic that EasyDex came to you, as you put it. And like you say, you haven't asked for anything. Things happen when you give. Yeah, if you give out, often things do come back to you.
Tenfold, Freedom. Tenfold. I promise you that, and I'll back it up, and I can prove it. I'm not ready to prove it now on this show, but I'll show you in time that if you give, you're gonna get, and ask for nothing in return. Support and build together. You will all succeed. Yeah, you're going to find one person here or there who's not going to agree, is going to leave, is going to do, is going to that, but it doesn't matter. The strength is in the numbers, not in the one or two that, do what they want to do.
Well, yeah, this is it. I mean, it's like Savo just says there, karma can be bad, but also good. I think karma can be mostly good, but you are going to get those odd cases which nothing comes of it, and there's going to be maybe a bad one in the barrel, so to speak. But I genuinely believe, if you do go out there and you are giving a lot of it, not all of it, no, but a lot of it will come back to you.
Keep what you need to live. Don't get me wrong. Don't go live in the street, because you gave the shirt off your back, which I've done. It hurts. But I know if I give the shirt off my back, I know I could get another shirt tomorrow. That's why I give it. I've learned, I've taught, I've been taught. Do that to yourself. Learn. What's that saying there? Don't give a guy a fish every day. Teach him how to fish to eat every day, right?
Yeah, exactly. Help people, empower people so that they can have fish every day.
And raise them up. And if they come back to you and reward you or help you, and even if you ask for help and they don't, accept it, forgive them. Be happy that they're there. It's only good for you.
Well, we're getting really more of an insight into your life philosophy. It's great, John. You seem an extremely positive human being. Have you always been like this?
Freedom, always from birth. And if I see negativity, I just turn my back. It doesn't matter who it is. It could be my kids, and they're negative a bit. I'll turn them around in a second. I'm not going to walk away from my kids, but I've walked away from whatever you want. If people are negative with me, it doesn't function. It doesn't work. Just run away from it. They're just going to bring you down. Even if it hurts to see them leave from your life, get rid of them. It's not going to help you.
Absolutely. I think that's a great way to deal with negativity, John. And it's been awesome having you on the show. I'm just going to just ask one more question, actually. I'm going to try wrapping this up as one question. Old Rusty Lunchbox is here. Is he? Good stuff. Well, I'm pleased he's here. I think that's reference to Solange the host. That's quite an announcement. So there we go. I don't know if you'll appreciate the image, but there we go. John, let me just ask you one last question, and it's about EasyDex. How are you finding it there? Are you enjoying it?
It's beautiful. It's home, really. Patty and Walrus are amazing. They're giving and supportive. We have a great time, and like I said, when it's time to be serious, he's very serious, and he's very just, and he knows his business, and he has me as a supporter 100% till the end. What the end is, it's for me, greatness. Believe me, it's my gut, and my experience in this life. My gut, when I've trusted it, it's always succeeded. Always, it's never failed, and I could prove that any day. And it doesn't matter because I know my gut is always right. It's always proven it to me. So this is what my gut tells me about EasyDex.
Well, you've got good instincts there, John. Keep relying on them.
Okay, and then I just want to drop one more picture. It happened just before the show. One of the members from EasyDex is describing me. So I think they have a perfect image of me. So I'm going to drop it. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
And it's cooler than Walrus's, so here we go.
Looking forward to it.
There you go. That's John Scott in a picture.
Yeah, it's funny because that's not what I had pictured in my mind.
Well, it's the Greek James Bond they made me. Not bad, eh?
Very nice. I didn't think you were blonde.
Well, I think it's a little grayer. She'll change it, or he'll change it.
Awesome. Very nice indeed. That's not cooler. Well, I keep seeing a picture of a dog in pink. No, I prefer John Scott's image. Sorry, Walrus. But go on, John.
He's just, trying to make me cooler because his picture is not so cool. I could drop it if you want.
Drop whatever you want, John. But I'm going to have to wrap up.
Yeah, it's coming up.
All right, good stuff there. Good to speak to John Scott, and nice to get to know him a bit more. Interesting guy, and he's incredibly generous and giving, as he says, and he's proven that. I've told you before, he's come to my shows, always showcasing other people, always helping out other people. Great guy. Interesting background, experience he's got, and the fact he's turned his back on the corporate world and he's now using the blockchain to make his business dreams come true. It's fantastic. It's all a great experience, I think, John. And I think in the end, the blockchain will probably be more generous to you than the corporate world you used to work in. At least I hope it will anyway, John. And there's another great image. Hey, you're not blonde in that one, though.
That's Walrus. I'm just comparing.
That's Walrus.
It's not me.
Of course, he's got the crown on.
Yes, he's the king. I'm not.
You are a king tonight on this show anyway, John. But thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Freedom, and thank you for the kind words, and thank you for having me. I hope people understand love is the answer to everything, and help one another. And I wish all the success to the Whaleshares launch, and support everybody, give and help, and let's build something nice for the rest of the world. Thank you.
Exactly. Well said, John. Thank you. Brilliant. Nice words there. So thank you again, John, for coming on, but I am going to have to move on now. Great interview indeed. Well said, Black Libertario. But we're over halfway. It's that time to hand over to Savo and his music segment. It's not a mega mashup this week. That's next week. But I'm sure he's got some tunes lined up with his guests. Savo, you there?
I'm here. Hello.
Hello. How's Holland tonight?
This evening it was okay. It was okay, but during the day it's of course, yeah, almost not to handle the heat.
Oh, the heat, yes. Tell me about it. It's cooling down now here. But what have you been up to in Holland today, Savo? I'd like to know what you've been up to.
Today I have worked on some music and worked on some other stuff I need to do. Mainly
because I've seen pictures of your home inside your home. Do you know that?
Yeah, that's possible.
Oh, it is possible. All right, it's happened. And I've seen like padding everywhere in one of these pictures. And you've turned one of your rooms at home into some kind of studio or something.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a bit more soundproofed. How many rooms have you done that to?
Yeah, well, I'm now sitting downstairs because it's upstairs too hot. Yeah, probably not now anymore because it's cooled down a lot. But yeah, I'm sitting downstairs when it's when the heat is there. So yeah, I do that because yeah, if you want to have the best quality mix, then you have to have the best sound surroundings as well to check it up how it sounds on speakers, headphones, car.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. Got it. All right. What have you got for us? I'll hand over to you now, dude.
So today we have two guests again, and one we all know as Sir Lunch the host, who is actually
Who's he?
Sir Lunch the host, some kind of
Who's
Western, the guy who is in the server, the sex from downside.
Only kidding, dude. Carry on.
Do you have audio, Sir Lunch the host? Because I want to talk with you about your content professionalism. Because I know you for quite a while now, and I have heard you talk a lot about that you were or are at some point turned completely into a professional content creator.
That would be me, my good friend.
So, a professional content creator, since how long are you this?
Since the dawn of Steam, actually. Before Steam, I wasn't much of a content creator at all. My previous life just wasn't like that. And then when I got onto Steam, I started teaching myself how to make various different types of content.
You really do this for 2 years now.
Yes, sir. First thing I taught myself was how to make music, and that started with me entering in like an open mic, like 1 or 2 times. And I think I got 3rd place in my first entry. And then from there, I was like, I don't want to just be like a lyricist. I also want to be a producer. And for my old days, like a couple months before I entered the open mic, I would do freestyle battles in TeamSpeak, and I got really good at it, and I was just beating people left and right. So I was like, let me see if I can lay something down, and I did, and it was kind of good. So then I was like, well, let me try my hand at producing, and since then, I haven't turned back.
No, I don't believe you, man.
I mean, a lot of people don't, but then at the same time, my work ethic, I'm not going to say it's unrivaled, but it's pretty unrivaled. When I found out that the blockchain could pay bills, the blockchain could take me out of the current situation that I was in, I was completely devoted to making myself the ultimate content creator by any means. So I started doing music. At the same time I did music, I also did cartoons. I was doing comics. I was teaching myself how to draw. I wasn't too much of a blogger at the time. So I was like blogging, and then blogging wasn't really my thing. So I went to vlogging, and I wasn't a vlogger at all, but I just started doing it because, all you have to do is get on video. And then I just been kind of mastering the crafts ever since.
So since 2 years, you are busy with each day getting these skills, because I know from trying out animation myself, it's pretty different than just Photoshop, for instance. What's my experience is, but the music, I mean, I don't know if people have heard your music, but your music is quality technique, very, very nice, very good. if you do this for just 2 years, then I'm really impressed, man. That's that I must say. But 2 years, yeah. How old are you, by the way? Because I maybe
I'm like a woman when it comes to these things. You can't just, you have to take me out to dinner before you ask me my age, Savo. Jeez. But no, I am currently 28. I look a lot younger though. A lot of people say that I look like 21 or 22, even 14 to 17. But that's because, I paid myself, I'm not going to say that because that's a little bit crude. I found the fountain of youth, guys. We'll just say that.
The holy elixir. Masturbation or?
No, masturbation only makes you stronger.
That's not for this show, Savo.
Yeah, but this is a lunch, so.
This is a different kind of show.
No, but actually, this is going to be a crazy little side story. But once I got onto the blockchain and I actually started wanting to be like a vlogger, I started changing up like my daily habits, right? So as a dude, like washing my face, I just throw water in my face, right? Bam, and I'm good to go. But then when you're on video and like you got the camera on your face, you have to really like think about that. You can't have like crust and all that stuff in your eyes and stuff. So I started like exfoliating and using different types of lotions, and it was crazy. I'm like one step away from wearing makeup on camera.
And that's maybe where also the edit skills come from. Editing videos, or so that you look good. No, but just kidding. I really think that you, as a musician, if you do this for 2 years, then man, yeah, just let's hear a song of yours. You sent me 3. Which one, Votro or Heart? Which one do you want to navigate?
Let's see. Let's do Votro.
Here is Votro from Sir Lunch the Host.
Hope you guys enjoyed that.
So are you there?
I'm here, yeah. Yeah, the sound quality always nice with yours. I must say that you have better tracks than this one, I believe. But that's personal taste. But yeah, so Lunch, tell us just a little bit, what are you doing now? Because you're also involved in EasyDex, and yeah, you have a very nice credits as well on the Steam platform as a reputation. So you are a good content creator, a professional. Tell us a little bit, what are you doing now? Is it still professionalism, that you still put out content as much and with the amount of rewards that you can say, this is my income?
I mean, if anyone currently keeps up with me now, I get way too drunk to keep up with doing content every day. No, that's not true. But right now I'm working on a card game right? A playable card game, not a collectible card game, right? So that's what I've been kind of like focusing on. Some of you have seen like some cards me popping it up randomly there, back and forth. I'm getting out mechanics done, and I'm still heavily into animation. I'm going to be creating, well, I started a cartoon called The Blockchain about a kid named Satoshi. And I'm kind of like doing that plus doing the card game at the same time. I released some, uh, I wouldn't call it footage, but some just extra reels of the cartoon that I've done. And I released some previews, and now I'm just kind of ironing it out. It's going to be 12 episodes long, voice acting and all that good stuff. So, yeah, I'll find the link for that real quick, John Scott, for you guys after I'm done. But yeah, pretty much I'm primarily right now focused on creating a game that teaches people about crypto in a cool way. And I'll drop a card as well just to give you guys an idea about that. So right now my main focus is cartoons and video games. And I've kind of gotten rusty, and I'm pretty sure Wallace is going to drop that lunchbox at some point now. But I've gotten a little bit rusty with music just because I've been focusing on other crafts, which kind of sucks, but hopefully I'll get back into it.
Yeah, but what is it what you want to do the most? What you like the most to do? Because you can, everything can be content, right? And you do everything, so you must have something you really like the most. And I think, let me guess, it's animation. Or is that a topic that you want to improve? Your skills and more, that you're more busy with that, because I've seen you do the for the last months actually only animation, right?
Yeah, so I started off with the if anyone was paying attention before, I was doing like a Rick and Morty series. I got a buddy who does Rick and Morty voices, so we were going to do like a Rick and Morty fan series, but that was taking up a little bit of time. A lot of time actually. So I kind of switched gears. If you ask me what I love to do the most, it's create content. Because I feel like sometimes music is what I want to do the most, right? But then it really depends on what I want to get across. So if I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm feeling this type of way right now, then I'll do music if that's the best way for me to express that. Or if the best way for me to express it is animation, then I'll do animation. Or if the best way for me to express is to get myself on, camera, I'll get on camera. So it's really dependent on the mood that I'm in, which I deem my favorite outlet, I guess.
It's kind of high sometimes if you can release your creativity, right?
Well, I wouldn't say like a high, but it's one of those things where if I don't get to create, it's almost like, and excuse my language here, it's like trying to poop, right? When you really have to poop, you just kind of poop, right? So that's how I kind of view it, right? It's not really much of a high as much as like I have to get this out. This is something that I have to get out of my system, and then once it's out of my system, I take like, for me, it's the sit back sigh of relief, like I just created something. That's what I'm in it for, and that's what I love to do. I love to just kind of sit back and look at something and go, yeah, that's a good representation of how I feel at this moment, or this is a good representation of how my thought process was.
Yeah, it's almost too easy for me to ask if you see your content as shit.
Well, yeah. I mean, and when I mean shit, there's like some people, like I won't lie, there's some content that I released that maybe didn't have my full heart behind it, or it was just something that I was just trying to get out. And in my own personal opinion, I'm like, that's not that good. That's shit, right? Not all my content is, but some of it is. And when I see other people enjoy the things that I call shit, that's like what kind of keeps me motivated. And because it just shows me like anything that comes out of my head is going to be awkward, weird, or good, or at least enjoyable in a sense. So I'm always good with that.
Okay, I get you there. Yeah. You're a guy of, a very creative guy. I never saw it like that, because people who create are actually sometimes if you say bad or that it's not good, they are very hurt as well, what I have experienced. But you are, if somebody...
I'm just going to jump in. Sorry, Savo. I'm just going to jump in a minute. Can I get more about the card game?
Yeah, yes, you may. So, what would you like to know, good sir?
Everything about the card game.
Without revealing too much, but then revealing enough, and I'll pull up a card as I'm talking. Basically, and I guess I'll just be pretty straightforward here. I was excited about Steam Monsters, right? As everyone else was. I mean, a few people weren't, but a good amount of us was. And I was really hoping that it was going to be something that I could play. And when I had realized that it wasn't something that I could play immediately, it had immediately brought me to something I was working on a long time ago. If anyone else knows me, again, I had actually created 3 games for Steam It, and I think 1 for Whaleshares, so that makes 4. So I had created 4 games before, and I'd kind of had this card game in the background, but I just didn't feel like working on it at the time. And then when I saw Steam Monsters, it still didn't dawn on me like, you should finish your card game. But then when I couldn't play Steam Monsters, I was like, all right, bro, I think you need to finish this card game. And so I kind of switched gears and put everything else on the back burner and started creating, in essence, the card game. And it's been a joy. It's had its headaches, though, I'm not going to lie.
But what's the theme of the card game? I mean, Steam Monsters is obviously monsters. What's your card game theme?
So the card game is specifically themed after blockchain and the crypto space. I just dropped a little thing in there called Minnow Man, something we all can relate to, right? Unless you just came in the game as a whale. But I have another character called Captain Scam. And the whole premise is you're going to be playing a card game, hearing these terms, listening to these terms, and then in the storyline, it'll explain what a scammer is. It'll explain what a minnow is. It'll explain what a basement coder is. Shout out Walrus.
That's really awesome, actually, because that will in itself kind of be a bit educational to newbies to the platform, won't it? Or to crypto.
Very true. And that was the aim that I had coming into this. And no slight to Steam Monsters, love what they're doing, but I wanted to make a game that was, in the sense, more relevant to us and the current, right? So we all can be relatable to orcs and mythical creatures and things like that. But then I wanted to make it something like, again, Minnow Man. A lot of us know what a minnow is, and a lot of us know what it feels like to be a minnow. So I wanted to take terms and things that we were all familiar with in the blockchain and crypto space and apply them to a card game so that, you can play the card game and you can also learn these terms and have fun with it. And, maybe after playing the card game and you get in, you're a little bit more wiser coming into the crypto space.
So this isn't just exclusive to Steam It then, no?
That was another thing I did not even have to struggle with in the sense. This is going to be put up on Apple Play Store and Google Play Store. I'm also making a web version for those of us who don't have smartphones, of course. Walrus. See me taking shots at you, Walrus. But basically, it's going to be a free-to-play game that anyone can download and jump right into.
Okay, nice.
Because again, the whole premise is if I make it a Steam exclusive and it really doesn't hit the core audience that I want it to hit. Like, I want everyone on Steam to play it, right? Yeah, don't get me wrong. But I also want people who are scrolling through the Google Play Store who normally play trading card games go, oh, what's this? And then that be their introduction to hearing about Bitcoin or Whaleshares or EasyDex or, just these terms, and then get them so interested that they go, well, let me look this up. And when they do...
Well, yeah, you want to get it to as wide an audience as possible, and that isn't just blockchain audience, is it?
Very true. My whole thing is you want to bring people from outside the blockchain into the blockchain, right? Because one thing that I've been hearing my whole time here is how do you market and how do you get other people outside of the chain to get in? And I've always been a master at marketing in the sense, like I know little niche ways to get people to notice. So I thought a card game would probably be one, not the best, but it's a great start to getting people in to the crypto sphere in a safe manner. Because above anything, I wanted to make sure that this card game, and I want to make sure that this card game, it educates people enough to where they don't get scammed. It educates people enough where they know what a whale is. I wanted to educate people so they know what a scammer is. I mean, everyone knows the term scammer, but in the crypto sense. So I wanted to make sure with all of my digital heart that people knew as much as they could know before getting on the blockchain.
Yeah, no, it's a great game, as I say, with a really strong educational element to it, which gives it another dimension. I think it's fantastic. But just one last question. So was this in development before Steam Monsters, or did Steam Monsters inspire you to do this?
This was in development before Steam Monsters, but as I said, I started vlogging and stuff like that. So it just kind of got put to the back burner because I'd already made games. I made one for Whaleshares, like I said before. I had made games before. So this is something that I had been working on, but it kind of just fell to the wayside. And then when Steam Monsters came out again, it didn't even dawn on me to bring, to start my card game back up. But it only dawned on me once I couldn't play Steam Monsters and I couldn't battle the cards. And I was like, all right, I think that I'll be able to bring, because I feel like Steam Monsters is a TCG, and a TCG stands for trading card game. I wanted to bring people a BCG, which is a battle card game, which isn't necessarily focused on buying cards, and in the sense it's just focused on battling cards in the sense.
Okay, awesome. I lied. I do have one more question. When, I mean, in terms of release date, are you any close to that, or is it still a long way off?
So basically, I'm in alpha stage, so I'll have an alpha version of the game ready in a week or so. I've been working my ass off for the last month to get all the mechanics down and everything like that. All the cards for season 1 are pretty much done. So what I'll be doing is I'll be releasing an alpha for people to play. I haven't really decided if I want to do an investment type Patreon thing, because it did cost me a lot to actually get everything re-going and stuff like that. So I'm kind of debating on if I want to have people invest and stuff. And of course, if people invest, they get to make their own card, name their own card. We're making a physical edition of the game as well. So basically, people who do invest, and if they invest a certain amount, you'll be sent a T-shirt and a physical card game, which comes with all the cards. It comes with the playing deck, a lore book that comes with all the concept art, and all my little workings on how I got the game put together and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. So not physical in the sense that you get a costume like that in the picture, in the image, and you put it on and it gets all physical like that.
I'm hoping that I can go to a Comic-Con and someone's dressed up as Middleman. That would be amazing.
Awesome. Okay. Well, good luck with everything. I'm looking forward to learning more about this. But oh, sorry, I keep doing this, but I will hand back to Savo in a moment. But really is last question. But you say there's not going to be a trade element? No, not at all.
Well, no, there's going to be a trading element, but I wanted to focus on the playable element first. So basically, how it works is that there's going to be a certain amount of cards each season, and then there's only going to be, I think, maybe 10 super rare and then 20 rare, and then you can only get them during that season. So in the sense of trading, if you obtain a rare card, it'll probably be something you could trade. And I'm also working on getting some type of marketplace built for the cards, so that if you do have a card, you can go to that marketplace and trade or sell it to someone and they could buy it and all this good stuff.
So users will be trading in both crypto and fiat then? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I will. Or yes, people will.
Okay, awesome.
Savo, back to you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's thanks, Trina, for having the questions. Solange, I got to quit with you here because you have also Polar Beats, who I want.
But I want to hear one more tune from Solange, though, Savo.
If you have the time, okay. Blockchain rap, that's one.
No, play him hard.
Hard?
Unless you want to play blockchain rap. I'll let you choose, Savo.
Yeah, blockchain rap.
Bitcoin bring change. I just switch lanes. Then I caught big change, crypto, blockchain. Know it all works out, really no big thing. Fine chicks, big game, you still can't maintain. Me, I can't complain. Blockchain tech, I don't chase checks, I don't rain check, fake news check, still same script, still lame bitch, tweeting at 3 a.m. steady abomination, such an abomination. US, why the joke, the bloke might OD on Diet Coke and bacon. Me, I just got a new confirmation, mining for validation, privately keep a private key to ensure my tokens ain't anyone's fair to take it. I think Ned is the only one hearing me, my wallet got keys like security, I'm seeing the future so clearly, they plotted on me like conspiracies.
Challenge host.
I just have to say, hey, that was like I haven't even released that to the blockchain yet. So like, that's one that I was like, all right, you know, I'm gonna let Savo be able to play this one.
Yeah, you go to release on the blockchain. You say, I didn't quite hear that. Or on Discord, for instance.
Well,
but as a lunch, you know, thanks. And yeah, I'm going to ask if Porter Beats can say something.
What's up? Can you hear me?
We have no audio.
No, I can hear him, Savo.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, hey man, what's going on?
Oh, you hear me now?
I hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going good, man. It's going good.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, man, I
That's
hear you.
another question.
Yeah, you two can hear each other. It's okay.
Yeah, he probably needs to reconnect. Yeah, in the meantime, I play a song of his. nice swingy beat of Porter beats called Game Time. Yeah, Porter beats. I can hear you.
Yeah, man. I don't know why you couldn't hear me earlier, man. I had my thing on. I don't know if it was on your end or.
It's always the Discord bug, probably on my end, you know. So don't think too much about it. But yeah, you're here now, man. Yeah, you know, I've seen your name a lot, and I've also heard people say things about you that you're a good producer and rappers as well. But
Yeah. I mean, I can rap. I mostly do it for kicks, but my real passion is in the beat.
yeah, but to me, you have this kind of underground flair. So what I want to know is a little bit more about you as a person, an artist, because you are for half a year or something already. You know that I know you, but a real talk we didn't have yet, right?
Yeah, man. Well, I'm from Georgia, USA. I'm 25 right now. Like a couple of years back, in 2016, I started my site polarbeats.com, and ever since then, I've been looking into like, how to like sell beats online and stuff like that. Like, what can I do and try to connect with people on the network and everything, and sell beats and just try to have a good name out for myself. I mostly made like trap records back in those few years back, but I'm more trying to like lean forward to like doing EDM. Well, maybe like add like little EDM and type beats or try something different. I really want to start thinking outside the box, because as years change and progresses, music changes as well. And it's just kind of like it's been a thought that's been pondering my mind ever since. So it's like I really just want to start like doing different type of sounds and trying to make more stuff that's more original. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Indeed, I found when I learned this from you, you know, and I've heard say you that before once, but it's actually what you are trying to do is involving the electronic dance music into what you're already doing. It's basically the opposite of what I do, but but then with going out of that. So maybe we should do something together once. I really think that it could help, but you want to sell your beats. How hard is this? With
Selling,
how it is today, with
yeah.
how you can
Well,
promote.
but selling beats, it is pretty tough, especially when you like starting off as a producer. You don't really have like extra money backed up to like try to throw stuff out. But I really started doing steaming in 2018 in January. It's starting to pick up a little bit itself, but selling beats is hard, especially when you just got to like, go off the bat and stuff. And I did go into like trying to look into stuff and buy it off of like marketing and everything, and spend a few like $100, like trying to like do stuff every month. And it would be like just a thing that I would have to help me sell and market and everything. But like really though, I really missed the point in trying to sell beats for a little minute. I was going the wrong direction. I think I should have went in another direction of it and come to terms. But
Yeah, because it's I can relate. It's only getting more and more music and more ways to promote your music, which in total, if you don't do it right, then your music doesn't come to air, right? And that's what is needed. That music comes to air. But as Teamit, since you are on the platform, really helped for you? Have you sold a beat?
yeah, I've sold a beats. In fact, I just talked to a guy the other day that a dude put me on locally around the area, and he was wanting to sell some beats, but it's been about a couple months, and I like sell a beat every now and then, but mostly it's like I'm like a real good musician. I'm probably like kind of like a bit bad of a market, but I guess I'm just more of a music guy with it, and like steaming is just like something that's kind of more for me because it's like I can really comment on people. I can like try to talk to other people and network with them, and then still like everybody else, get paid in crypto, doing this type of
That bonds people that who share this interest, and being part of something new. We can see it like building the first society on Mars, for instance. The first people who come there, they have nothing, so they should build it from ground up. But looking at Steemit, you have now half a year experience. If you could advise Whaleshares to give it something that you miss on Steemit, what would it be?
on Whaleshares on Steam. Like, what are you kind of saying? I'm sorry.
Well, you are now in half year on Steemit, trying to sell beats, but you have to keep evolving. If there could be a second Steemit, what would you advise? Not the second Steemit, but a kind of like site, which is Whaleshares is going to be.
Something
What
that
are you missing on Steemit?
Yeah. All right, you know how like stuff plays on like the trending page and everything. Like what this should do is, instead of people just like, at least for the first point, like have it like just set off, instead of just being on new, just being on the front page. Like it'll be like Steemit, but it'll be like everybody's post will be on the front page. Like from that time that they post on there, it'll be right there. That's what a second Steemit should do.
So that you always have the post of the people you follow,
and more people see your post. More people will view, and you'll have people getting a lot more reaction.
Do you think that there is a lot of competition, and that it's really getting harder and harder to have recognition?
Well, I would say like, as of for like, especially even hip hop, there's a few rappers. I think that's a community that's starting to build, but like, as of for guys that are original bloggers and stuff like that, people who want to post about crypto or anything, there is a lot of competition, and with rappers too, because everybody's trying to figure out what to do. Everybody, well, I shouldn't say that, but everybody's trying to like, be on the think of themselves, when really, when it comes down to it, it's like you gotta more try to like, like think about other people for a second, or like even like comment them, or be positive, or being being empowered to other people as well. You know what I mean?
Exactly, because that's what people should do more, right? I mean, share their audience.
Yeah.
So let's give an example. Let's listen to your second song, and then we get we can hear what you are doing with trying to involve the EDM thing. But I think we can, if we do a collaboration in that, because I have that, I always did EDM, and I'm trying hip hop.
I love EDM when they have like those effects, like them offbeat effects, and it just comes out of nowhere, and it's like more of a transition, and like it just comes in and just fades in and out, shit like that. And then you just
automation
comes in, and like it's like hip hop, and you like put a rapper or artist in, you know what I mean? That's kind of stuff I want to do, like just make classic. It's like modern day bangers, you know what I mean? Something
I know what you mean. So let's listen to the song. Let's talk about it after that. I'm cutting it off a little bit because it's was it a big change for you to because the EDM house style has normally a track length of 5 minutes or something, while the hip-hop stuff is always a little bit more shorter, How did you try, or how did you adapt to that? Because coming back from longer tracks, I found it really strange that they weren't complete. What was your experience the other way around?
Man, that beat, well, I kind of feel like, the experience, it's pretty good, especially with that song, because I even put the guitar strums into it, myself. How I did that was I used an amp, and a friend of mine, he owns a mixer that I borrowed from him to record with the guitar, and I put the tracks over it, and I had a little amp that I could use. And it was a small little amp that I got from Christmas, and I just used that, and it just came out real well. I just tried to mix it and turn the volume down with the guitar, and just go from there with it.
The experimenting part is always fun, right? Most fun. But we're running a little bit out of time. I want to thank you. Let's have a chat after the show, and let's do a collaboration, because I think we can learn from each other and just have fun. So but thank you for your time, and
thank you.
I will speak to you later.
All right, brother.
So Freedom, it's your turn.
Oh, thanks, Savo. Appreciate it's my turn again. But thank you very much, Savo. Great segment there. Appreciate the tunes. Lovely last tune there. Really enjoyed that one. Whereabouts? One thing that maybe some people might be interested in, they hear a tune and they might want to hear more. Feel free for your guests to put up, I don't know, is it SoundCloud links or whatever?
Yeah, indeed. You're right.
Or I don't know, even a link just to their Steemit account, so people have a reference point. Might be useful. They're more than, there you go. They're so much giving us a sterling example there. So just throw in a link to your Steemit account or whatever, because I think some people might be interested. I love that last tune, and I'd like to hear more about Polar Beats. So Polar Beats, please, could you just put up a link to your Steemit account or a SoundCloud account if you've got one? That would be great. But yeah, awesome stuff, Savo. Thank you very much for that, dude. And that sort of brings us on to the last segment of the show, the cruel curation session. I do enjoy this. I don't know if other people do, but I do. Tonight, for those of you that don't know what we do, I'm just going to pick on a few people and maybe 3 people, ask them to present a post like I do in my Sunday show. But the deal is this: others have to rate the post, and tonight it's grades. I'm asking you to grade the post A to F. That's what I want to see. The person with the highest grades wins 20 Whaleshares. That's what this is about. But please remember that key phrase: judge unto others as you would wish to be judged yourself. So that's what you've got to remember. That's breaking up. Can you hear me? I hope so. Don't forget, tell me if the wind tunnel returns. But yes, please do remember that phrase: judge unto others as you would wish to be judged yourselves. Please be fair in your assessment of other people's work. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to pick on a few people, and I'm going to ask Crystal, who's usually a good sport. Crystal, do you have a post? Are you there?
Ready for the torture.
Good stuff. You got 3 minutes. Away you go.
Okay, guys, here's the winners from the contest that you all lovely entered. And pretty much, I got some great photographs. Some people did some great artwork. A Singing Monkey won. So I was so happy to see the talent that we have on Steam. There was somebody who made a healing balm. It was really, really cool. I really, truly thought that was cool that people were just making stuff that I wouldn't think to make. Yeah, I really love the photographs that were entered, the drawings. I wish I could give it to everybody, but you got some good prizes.
Just remind us, Crystal, what were you asking people to do this time?
It was whatever you love to make, pretty much. Whether it was artwork, because normally I kind of stay into one genre, but since Steamhouse was luckily to sponsor this, I was actually just did like whatever you can make, whether it was art, whether you were selling something on Steam it, draw music, anything that you can physically make, and that was kind of up in the air.
Oh, okay. All right. Nice. I see that Boy Robert came in 5th place. Nice indeed. What was the best then, in your opinion? Obviously, the first place. Tell us a bit about the first place.
First place is from Steven. He's recently has entered, and he always has these nature photography pictures that blow me away. I've always said on Steam, I think photography on Steam is very underrated. There's some pictures that are like really hard to do. I would love to be professional at it, but my cameraman can't very do much. So I really have real respect for people that spend hours on their craft and they can just do the most beautiful, because I love nature. I kind of live in the countryside, so I can quite enjoy it.
You do know it's exactly what, like Sweeney Guy says, those flies, it's fly sex, isn't it?
I'll leave that to you guys to talk about that stuff.
Unless one's helping another fly out and say, look, you can ride with me today. Maybe he's feeling a bit under the weather. I don't know. But piggyback rides, maybe. Who knows? But okay. Awesome. Thank you very much for that, Crystal. Guys, if you haven't already, please now grade Crystal's post from A to F, A being excellent, F being absolutely rubbish. So that's what I want. Grades, please, Woodsy. Can I have a grade from you? Black Libertario's been quite generous. B+. We're getting a few in-between grades, like pluses and minuses. Why not? Hey, I don't see why not. I don't have a problem with that. Yes, a few A's coming through there. Okay, B+, I think, is an A+. Wow, okay, yeah. What's that? That's a B, Power Picks, not a fly. But hey, we'll accept that as well. Why not? B from Savo, Black Libertarian. Yes, you've given it B+. Thank you. Your assessment has been recorded. Oh, it's a B. You're giving it a B. Sorry, a bit slow off the mark there. Thank you, Power Picks, for that. Very creative. That was creative, wasn't it, Crystal?
I'll take it.
Well, hang on a minute. You're going to have to take an A, B, C, and D now from Walrus.
I don't know how to take that, but okay.
Well, you're going to have to take it. There it is. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for that. Yes, you've done pretty well there, Crystal. Some nice grades for you. It's a fat wasp, is it? Well, anyway, we're taking it as a B. So I'm going to move on. I'm going to... Who else have we got? Pensive. Pensive, are you there? Pensive, are you there? He's unmuted, so I think he's there. Pensive, can you hear me? Problems with your mic there, I think, Pensive. You might want to go back out and come back in again. I don't know if you can hear me. I think you can hear me. So just maybe that might clear it, but I'll come back to you. Let's pick on somebody else. Who have we got here? That might want to do it. Who actually wants to do this, by the way? Anybody want to put their hands up and put you love abuse, Boy Robert? If you've got a post, you go right ahead. You're next if you want to.
Yo, you want me?
Oh, Boy Robert, tell us about your post.
All right, so this post was taken on Canada Day. Do you hear me?
We can hear you.
All right, perfect. Yeah, so went out and I wanted to do something with my camera that I've never done before. And like last time where I went to take those light trails with the cars and the traffic, I decided to go and take a shot at taking pictures of fireworks. I've never done it before. And I gave it a crack. I didn't have the best seat in the spot. A lot of kids running around. It was close to the water. And there was some trees, and I went there and I snapped a whole bunch of shots, and I didn't know which one to pick, so I said, I'll just share all of them.
You certainly did that, but there are some lovely pictures in here. I mean, I go back to your camera, Robert. It is one hell of a beast you've got there to capture these images. Fantastic camera.
Thank you very much. I can't take all the credit.
Well, I'm not going to devalue your efforts, because I know that you've obviously played a role in capturing those images. These are amazing photographs. Are you kind of semi-professional?
I wish I was. That's the goal. The main goal is to eventually take photography on full throttle, but it's kind of hard to make your mark, right? Like John said earlier in the show, it's hard to do stuff local when there's so much competition abroad. Just like locally, there's a lot of people want top quality work, but they don't want to pay. So it's hard to bust out of a 9-to-5 job and do something you really love and get paid top dollar.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree. I hope the blockchain, though, is kind of helping out a little bit. But that is amazing photography. I do want to ask you, though, about Canada Day. What's that about?
It's inside the post there's a link to that describes it. It's basically it's kind of like Independence Day, like the United States of the 4th of July. It's something similar that happened in Canada.
And do you celebrate it on the 4th of July?
No, I believe the 29th or the 30th. John, I don't remember, to be honest. I'd have to go look at my calendar. I'm pretty bad.
We celebrate July 1st for Canada Day's independence, just like July 4th for the Americans, but we've converted it to moving day. So on July 1st, everybody changes leases and moves. So our Canada Day is based on moving, actually.
Oh, okay. So the key day is July the 1st, and it represents a kind of independence, yeah?
Not kind of. It is our independence. We celebrate it. Independence
from?
It's just the birth of Canada. That's all it is. There's no independence, so you're right. It's Canada has been around for, I think, 353 or 52 years. I have to check, but it's our birthday, basically. There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Very nice. The birth of a great nation, indeed. Oh, well, I'm glad you have a day to celebrate that. That's I didn't know that. I've learned something, along with some beautiful photography. So thank you very much for that, Boy Robert. Anything you want to say lastly?
Bring on the abuse.
Here it comes. But I have to say, Black Libertarian is very impressed. He's giving you an A++++. I can't even count how many. But guys, please go ahead. Grade Boy Robert's post now. A to F, please. Not pi. Crystal Human. I don't know what pi's got to do with it.
The only thing I wish was for some reason, I don't know if it's my account, if it's because I'm a middle or what the case might be, but I'm limited to upload pictures. It can't be bigger than 10 megabytes. So when I go, 10 gigs. So what happens is a lot of these pictures are higher resolution. So you can zoom in on some of them, and it's pretty cool because the exposure of these pictures were about 30 seconds, some are 15, and you can actually see like the sparks of the fireworks extinguishing, and it kind of looks like feathers. It's pretty wild.
Wow. Yeah, that's capturing tons of detail there. Fantastic. And I have to say, you're doing pretty well on grades at the moment. Crystal Human, why is that pi sign with a plus? Pi plus? What's going on there? Crystal Human, perhaps you could explain. But anyway, you're doing pretty well there in terms of grades. So well done, Boy Robert. Thank you very much indeed. I'm going to move on. I'm going to try Pensive again as the last one of the cruel curation segment. Pensive, are you there? I can hear something, but not you. You've got some real mic problems tonight, dude, haven't you? Yeah, I can't hear a word. Pensive. Pensive? No. Okay. Never mind. Sorry, Pensive. We can't hear you. But I shall try fitting in one more. Who have we got? Oh, Pensive. Are you there or not? No. Okay. Sorry about that. Who else have we got here? Oh, my Lord. It's Alex Morris. Let's see if he's got a post he wants to share, but it's not the usual sharing. Alex, are you there? Oh, man. Yes, Alex, you. You haven't seen this before. It's the Cruel Curation segment of the show. You're going to be the last one of the show, or the last one of the segment, and we're going to wrap up with you, if you're there. Are you there? Can you talk to us or not? It's not that bad, I promise you.
Yeah, I actually got my first post up in a while. I've just been so busy with a bunch of things. Just kind of stopped by to, take a peek for a little bit, but sure, I'll share it.
Well, hang on a minute, Alex.
Nice to see you all.
Let me just tell you how this works, because it's not the usual curation. Just to let you know, what we do is you present your post in the usual manner, like you would on my other show, and then what we do is we grade it from A to F. So other people will be assessing your work A to F. All right? You okay with that?
Well, I'm used to abuse, so I suppose I can handle it.
Good stuff. Go for it.
Yeah, this is my folks just celebrated their 50th anniversary, so I was just sort of like, it's a bit of a tribute to them, and yeah, just about the weekend and such, and just some thoughts about what it takes to be able to manage to keep a relationship going for that long and then some. And yeah, that's and some I threw in some nice fireworks at the end too. Doesn't really compare to the fireworks that were just shared before, but they're over a lake and they're kind of cool nonetheless. And I actually had hoped that we'd have some from Manhattan to show, but sadly, at least from where I was, the fireworks just were horrible this year in Manhattan. So go figure.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, because I know July the 4th is a big day for you guys. But this is a lovely post, Alex. Really nice, actually. 50 years. I mean, it's not often you come across that, is it?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's interesting because like now I think more than ever, I think it's not even marriage. Marriage isn't even as important. Like I keep hearing more and more people who are just kind of having relationships, even long-term relationships, where they don't even feel that the marriage aspect officially really adds all that much. In the end, it's you see so many marriages that fall apart in a year or two. So it really is more about like the actual relationship itself and what it takes to stay that long and be committed to someone. Really like a best friend or something, and what it takes to have that go on. But yeah, more and more, you see people, if they are doing that, you really don't need a marriage in itself to do that. That's more like my parents, in a way, they come from a different age, a different time, and that doesn't diminish it nonetheless. But I think these days, you might actually have to find that more in like, wow, you two have been together for 50 years. You've raised 3 kids together, and you've actually chosen, to stay together during that whole time, without in a way being forced to into a marriage or sometimes with a lot of alcohol. But I can tell you, my folks actually really don't drink very much. So, and granted, they have their days, of course, like anyone else, but they've definitely not made that one of the ways to survive it all. So for some people, I'm sure it does, but
well, this is it. I think there are people who have made a genuine success of marriage. There's no doubt about that, and it's fantastic when you come across people who have made a success of it, because, as I say, it's not often these days. It's becoming more of a scarce event. But I think it's lovely. I think it's fantastic. Really nice to see, John, Alex. Thank you for sharing that. Very nice post indeed. So yes, thank you. Right, guys. I'd like you to now go ahead, grade that one, A to F, please. Remember, please be fair with your assessment. A to F. Very nice post, Alex. Thank you for that. I'm calling you John because I haven't seen you for a long time. How are you, Alex, anyway?
Well, besides that, I talk about that a little bit in the post too. But no, I'm doing well. There's actually a few other revelations thrown in there as well. How my life is.
Yes.
I expect it to change a bit, and I'm sort of terrified about all that as well.
Bushy mentioned it. Are you prepared? Bushy just highlighted that.
I don't feel prepared for anything. But I guess, but I am getting, or we're both getting older, so it's like kind of a now or never thing also. So, I wrote in the comments.
So this is official. It's official.
I mean, everything looks like it's going smoothly. Everything looks very healthy, so that's great. But like I said, it's still more terrified. Just I'll do the best I can. That's about the best I can say. I guess we'll see, right?
Okay, I want you to make this absolutely official because some people still don't know what you're talking about.
It appears, as I think I told Steam Power Picks there, that it appears we will be in store to have a future Pimorella in our lives.
Oh, man. New little Alex Morris on the way, a new little baby on the way. When's it due?
Actually, right into the new year, just into a little bit after January. Well, about I think January 6th, give or take.
Well, congratulations, Alex. I think that's fantastic. I think you're going to be an excellent father. I'm sure that Michelle will be an excellent mother. You will, as you just said, you will do your best, and I'm sure that will be good enough.
We can only hope.
You'll let us know, though, won't you, if it's not?
Well, at worst, I can say this might be the second kid she has to deal with. So maybe that's the worst case. I don't know. I'm going to have a little sister, a second little sister.
Awesome to hear, Alex. Congratulations. Fantastic. Lovely post there. I'm going to put the link up one more time because that's a really nice post. Lovely post indeed. Nice to share.
Thank you for all the kind ratings. Appreciate that too. I'm humbled. Appreciate that as well. So thank you very much, everyone.
I haven't seen any D's, so I think you're all right, Alex. Good stuff indeed. Right, I think.
Well, Savell had to make up for it, but that's only because he's really into the drums. So, or the double D's. It depends on which angle you take. Into the double D drums.
He's
into those extra big gongos.
Something's missing from Savell's life, but he'll deal with that in his own time, so don't worry. But I'm not accepting those D's at all. So no, I'm not. But fantastic news. Thank you for sharing that with us, Alex. And it's nice to end the show on that note. And thank you to everybody who's come tonight. It's been an awesome show. Thank you for assessing those posts as well. You weren't too harsh. And thank you to my contributors, of course. Chief Mapster and Savo did another awesome job. And of course, I must thank John Scotts, who was a great guest. And of course, Walrus, whom John works with on EasyDex. Thank you very much, Walrus, for the news segment. And that wraps up tonight's show. So please go ahead, DM me your BitShares username, and I will get you some EasyDex tokens. And that's what we're giving out tonight. So go ahead, please, now and DM me your BitShares username, and I shall get y'all some EasyDex tokens. And there we have it. Feel free to hang around, but I'm now going to go and grab myself a drink, and I'm going to eat some strawberries. And it's so warm and hot here, it's impossible to do much. I'll be back in a little bit if people are hanging around, and maybe catch up with you in a bit. But I am going to eat them strawberries. I'm going to enjoy them, and I'm going to get a drink. So I'll be back in a bit, but feel free to hang around. And I shall see you guys soon. Next show that I do is Sunday. That's the Promote Your Post show. There is, of course, the EasyDex show, which is tomorrow, and that's on the EasyDex server, and that is with Sir Lunch, the host. He'll be doing that one, so check that out. It's a great show. But thanks, guys, and I shall see you soon.